私は断りましたよ。フェルンはいい子だね。それで
She's so
二人と
proud
も
of
ゼー
it
リーのわ
too.
がままを聞いているわけだ。
Hello, comrades. Welcome back. This is detectfanive, and today we are going to be watching Frieren Season 2, Episode 6, A Demon Slaying Request. But before we do, let's talk about the previous episode 5, Logistics in the Northern Plateau. In that episode, 29 years after the death of Himmel the hero, Frieren and her party are now in Bear Region. That's located in the Northern Plateau. And the only things that are growing in that area are only grain, which is why they have brews and probably a lot of different bread varieties. Speaking of brews, though, Voss is looking for a brew known as Bowshaft, and he's been looking for it for 200 years. The only problem is he's probably getting trolled by an elf because the elf didn't really have anything else to do, and her name was known as Meliarde. I I I I, I think so. Anyways, he is very sad that he didn't find it in time before Hyder died, but he is very lucky to run into Frieren because he needs her help. And sure, she could have rejected this proposal. The only problem is they need money. Fern and Stark were feeling very bad for the old guy because it would only take 3 months for her to open that door. And she did. Unfortunately, though, that drink tasted awful. But at least he has more bowshaft to pass around in his hometown so that they can all suffer with him. But most importantly, to have a good laugh. Now, 30 years later, after the death of Himmel the hero, they are now in the Norm Company territory, basically where most of their supplies come from. But Frieren wants to avoid making waves, and we don't really know why. But then we found out that she needs to pay off her debt from 80 years ago, which was never paid for. So now she gets to work for them for 300 years. Well, more like a day or so, and thankfully that was the case because Fern was deciding to raid that area at nighttime because she's very short tempered, and Stark didn't really like the idea, and Frieren even admitted that Fern is very hot tempered, but it's fine because Frieren went all out with her powers of finding silver for them. So her debt is paid off thanks to this, and at least they don't have to hear their bread going clunk because now they have soft bread and not hard bread. And I can't wait to see what they have in store for us for the next episode, especially when it says a demon slaying request for this episode. So, yeah. Now, on to the next episode. So one of the 7 stage destruction. No, not the kid. Run away, child. What creature is that? Fly bird! Report! Report! Hopefully it gets to Frieren. Frieren will do it without hesitation. Ooh. 30 years after the death of Himmel the hero, in the roof. I'm like thinking like Japanese because I know like the F is like it's like blowing out candles, so I can't I don't know if it's that or the English word roofin or ruhen Huden Ru. It would be like Huden region located in the northern plateau. I'm just gonna call it Rufen. In the Rufen region instead of or located on the northern plateau. Oi! What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? It's someone I should have remembered from season 1.
します。まだ幼い息子がいるんです。
こっちはそんな言葉数えきれないほど聞いているんだ。
Oh, he's also in the first season from Seri. He was with Seri. Sensei. Demon. Yup.
頼むから少しは本当のことを言ってくれ。愛着のようなものはまるでなかったが、こうしてみると寂しいものだな。
Oh, okay, dude. Oh, he survived.
けなうか。
ああ、
けなう村が魔族に。
He knows, dude.
分かっている。もう
Yep.
片付けた。
村のみんなは
You're the only survivor.
無事だよ。みんな無事だ。
I don't know, dude.
お前も助かる。一級魔法使いの新入りが一人。
Don't give
私
him
と一緒に
hope.
来ていてな。どうだ、少しはマシなパンを焼けるようにはなったか。ここのところ冷えた硬いパ
Chicken
ンしか
Hill?
食えてい
Or
な
was
く
it
て
the
な。
other girl that was
ぜ
here
ひ焼きたて
earlier?
を食わせてもらいたいものだ。いや、こ
No.
の際焼きたてでなくても
Is he
構わない。
dead?
売れ残りで
No,
も
he's
昔のよ
probably
うな失
dead.
敗作でもいい。
That is a lot of blood. he
贅沢は
lost.
言わん。
怪我人はこちらに。
気休めを言うなメトーデ。もう死んで
Methode.
いるんだろ。こいつ。子供の頃はよく一緒に遊んでいたな。
Oh yeah, I could tell when he
親父
knew.
さんが亡くなってからはこいつが後を継いだんだが、こいつの焼くパンはあまりうまくなかった。もう食えないな。みんな一緒だ。こいつも寂しくない。なんで私たちではなく、こいつらなんだろうな。この村の奴らは
Because they
私た
can
ちと
easily
違っ
get
て、
manipulated by the
戦いの
demons,
道を
which is
選んだ
why
わけじゃない。
Frieren says they shouldn't be trusting demons. No.
死ぬのなら、
ゲナウさんに責任はありません。少しは休んだ方がいいのではないのですか？
静かに。私の目が一つ潰された。
二人です。
Frieren and
か
Fern?
なりの手だれだな。敵だと思う。
No. Mm-mm. I think it's Frieren and Fern. No. Yep, yep.
多分これは
Oh. They're like, destroy.
なんだ、フリーレンか。
まったく
Methode.
すごい殺意のこもった魔力だったから魔族かと思ったよ。
Whoa. Well,
そう
because
か。
they
紛らわしいことを
killed
し
his
たな。
hometown.
悪かった。
本当です。気が気ではありませんでした。フェルンさんも討伐要請を受けていたんですね。北部高原にいたからね。それで状況は？
祈っているのか。
俺の村も魔族に滅ぼされた。
そうか。
You know.
魔族って人間を食べるんだよな。
Also, Fern.
さあな。理由は知らん。あいつらは腹いっぱいでも人を殺すんだよ。なんでだろうな。
ただゲナウさんが一つ腑に落ちない点があると。
村に駐留していたノルム騎士団だ。
ノルム商会領にもいたでしょ。商会が保有する軍事勢力だよ。ずいぶん少人数なんですね。
村落の駐留部隊なんてこんなものだ。それでも彼らはこの村にはもったいないほどの精鋭だったよ。隊長はこの男だった。長年村を守り続けてきた英傑だ。
驚いた。この人シュタルクよりはるかに強いね。
そりゃ俺と比べたらそうでしょ。
剣士魔法の結果、彼らの死因は剣による斬撃
Huh?
で全員即死です。
He was stronger than Stark.
村にいた魔族たちは
What
彼
are
ら
they
の
up
足元にも
against?
及ばない雑魚ばかりだった。
一緒にそいつに人類の恐ろしさを教えてあげよう。ほう、こうですかね。
それだとかなり動きに無理があるな。もしかしたら二刀流なのかも。
Oh.
魔族は基本的に短時間の潜伏でしか魔力を隠さないから、
この村の近くは安全ということですね。
I mean, he is a skill fighter.
周辺にある魔族の拠点になりそうな場所を教えてもらったから、そこを中心に調べていこう。
She's probably sad about those people.
まあその前に夕食かな。
Dinner.
腹が減っては戦はできぬだ。
またこのパンか。
流通網が回復するまでの辛抱だね。
Oh, they have to wait for it to reestablish.
まだ教会だと思います。ゲナウさんの分のパンは私が。いや、メトーデは敵の分析結果を教えて。先に敵の構成を知りたい。
じゃあ俺が渡してくるよ。
お願いします。それで分析の結果は？正確な敵の構成を把握するにはもう少しかかりそうですが、分かったことはあります。そっか。じゃあ先に作戦会議。
Listen, man. Frieren needs to eat.
の前にやっぱり夕食にしようか。
硬いな。
何をやっていたんだ？
Can you blame
魔族の
the
襲撃で
situation?
教会の結界が壊されていたからな。中にあいつらの死体もあるしな。
なあ、なんで死体をそのままにしてるんだ？
北部高原出身じゃないやつにはわからないか。基本的に北部高原の村落に墓地はない。あるとしても堅牢な城塞都市の片隅か、結界に守られたお貴族様の墓くらいだ。あとはすべて魔物の少ない北部高原南端の共同墓地に埋葬される。わざわざ死体を運び出すんだ。ノルム騎士団の護衛をつけてな。なぜだかわかるか？
いや、
Because the demons don't go
下
around
手に
there.
墓を作ると腐臭につられて魔物が集まってくるんだ。地獄のような光景だよ。そこには骨も残らない。ノルム商会の連中はずいぶん前から死体を燃やすようにと主張している。
Yeah.
私も賛成だよ。
I mean, what else are you supposed to do when you have
でも
monsters
聖職者連中が黙っていない。奴らの気持ちもわかるよ。痛いほどわかる。苦しんで死んだ人間を火にくべるなんざ正気の沙汰じゃない。でもいつかはそうするべきだ。どうせこのままじゃ誰も故郷の地で眠れない。
正直フリーレンさんたちとこんなところで再会するとは思っていませんでしたから。こっちもね。
Probably gonna
山
meet
一
a lot
つ
of
向
the
こうで野営
people
してた
from
ら
first
討
season.
伐要請の書面が届いたからね。
Thought for sure they would
何
meet
事か
up
と思
with.
ったよ。
I forgot.
もうなんだこいつ。
手紙を持っていますね。
Oh.
メ
Oh.
トーデとゲ
Oh.
ナーことなんでこんなところにいるの？今、私はゼーリエ様の命令でゲナウさんと二人組で北部高原の魔族の討伐任務をしていますから。一級魔法使いってそんなことまでするんだ。ならなくてよかったよ。というよりも弟子としての仕事ですね。弟子？
Oh.
ええ。一級魔法使いは基本的にゼーリエ様の弟子になることになるので。そういえばそんなこと言ってたっけ？
私は断りましたよ。
フェルンはいい子だね。それで
She's
二
so
人と
proud
も
of
ゼー
it
リエのわがままを聞いているわけだ。大変だね。
Wait,
そうでも
wait,
ないですよ。
My bad. I was just too focused on that. Okay.
むしろもっとお役に立ちたいというか、
Oh.
あの人ちっちゃくて可愛いじゃないですか。そうかな。もちろんフリ
She's
ーレ
really
ンさんも負けないくらい可愛らしいですよ。ありがとう。 それにゲナウさんほどの
As
反
long
面
as
教
they're
師もいませんしね。
She wants to.
お前は私のようにはなるな。
さて、お腹も満たされたし、作戦会議と行こうか。
I love that detail that they put the
それで
crumbs on her like scarf like that. That's crazy.
作戦会議と行こうか。
それで敵の分析の方はどうなっている？
ああ、正確な魔族の数とかはまだ解析中らしいけど、一つだけ分かったことがあるぜ。
Oh.
敵は二刀流って言ってたっけ？それが、 最初はそのように仮定していたのですが、やはり釈然としない点がありまして。
Oh?
どういうこと？大きな剣を2本操る怪力の持ち主ってことでしょうか。
もって遺体の傷や戦闘の痕跡からイメージして同じ切り方を試みたのですが、やはり二刀流ではどうしても動きに無理が生じてしまいます。これ以上はまだ憶測の域を出ないのですが。
I'm concerned.
いいから教えて。
おっと、悪い。
すみません。
What?
気は四刀流です。
そうか、通り。
Oh. That's troubling. Is that the seventh stage of destruction? Alright. So, 30 years after Himmel's death, the location in northern Plateau is Bear Region. The location in northern Plateau is Rufen region, which happens to be Geno's hometown. He bears no attachment to his hometown, but he still finds it sad to see the outcome. Plus, I'm pretty sure he does care for the people in that village. He may not show a lot of emotions, but you can tell when he took the baker's son, who happens to be his childhood friend, that held on to him tightly as if he wanted the pain to go away and the situation that happened. Gino was telling him about how he would like some fresh bread because he's been eating a lot of hard bread as of lately. And honestly, he didn't care what type of bread he made. It didn't matter if it was awful, because it was at that moment he felt his body limping. And that was really difficult for him because it really hurt him. I really like how they detailed that part, because even though he doesn't show his emotions, you could see he was clutching onto his onto his pants as a way of like hoping he wouldn't die, because so many of the people in that village have died. Plus, he killed a demon that tried to pretend to be one of the villagers. And they always lie to manipulate the humans. And Gino has encountered this multiple times, so he wasn't going to be fooled. But he wished that they would actually have some effort into their lies, because it's just the same pattern that he's so fully aware of. But his villagers, surprisingly, did not get killed by the demons. They were, however, probably attacked by the demons because they did break down the church barrier. So he did fix that by making a stronger barrier, but that's not what killed them. What killed them was a type of monster that is very skillful, because this monster also has killed one of the greatest soldiers, which Frieren and the others were aware either of their outfit or of them, because they were part of the Norm Company territory. And to have the captain that has been defending that village for years, it even surprises that they had a few soldiers going in there, because these are very well advanced, like very well good soldiers. That surprises him because the village is so small, and it shows that they do care for the village. But at the end of the day, that soldier among with the other soldiers, they died. Also, very problematic, concerning. I am glad that there are 4 mages all in there because you have Gino, you have Methode, Frieren, and Fern all there because Frieren has mentioned that soldier that was the captain is far stronger than Stark. So luckily, they have a lot of mages around there because I don't believe they had a mage over there to protect them or their village, which is really sad. And it was also sad that Methode couldn't kill these people, and she seems very well aware of how Gino is feeling. Even though he doesn't show it, she could tell that he is blaming himself in some way, and she reminds him that it's not his fault. And though it doesn't show his feelings, where you could see his emotions, even though he doesn't speak it, you could see it through his action, especially with when Frieren and Fern were coming in because they were going to attack who they thought were the enemy, but then they happened to see that they were not the enemy, and Gino and Methode, well, mostly Gino already knew that it was probably Frieren and Fern, but Frieren couldn't tell because Gino had so much power that she assumed that he was a demon because so much of bloodlust has erupted through his power because he probably wanting revenge and probably like really ticked off that his village has been killed by these monsters and had been attacked by these demons, which is crazy because he doesn't understand why a village who doesn't choose this life that these creatures decide to destroy them when they should be going after the first class mage who are willing to put their life on the line to protect these people and to fight against them. Methode and Gino only received this uh, message of his hometown being destroyed was due to it was delivered to Severlake Order of the Norm Station, and then it reached the northern branch of the village. It reached the northern branch, but the village was already destroyed. And Frieren got the message by a squirrel, which, by the way, I think that squirrel is probably like Frieren's. In a way, it's a protector. In a way, like it's a cautious detector, because I remember in the first episode of season 2 when the squirrel walked past that ground and was running off that ground, and that's when Frieren realized that there was something wrong with that ground, which they fall into, where Fern and Frieren's powers have been canceled. And then the squirrel also goes up to Frieren, which had a note, a request to slay a demon. And I am curious why they would give a scroll to a squirrel, because that was interesting, because usually it's for birds. So I'm pretty sure they know that that message would quickly go to Frieren if it's a squirrel. So yeah, I'm very interested in this squirrel with Frieren because it seems very interesting. I don't know if it's her particularly or if it's for the elves. That's their messenger. Because I know the birds are for the humans, and I wonder if the elves' messenger are the squirrels, but I'm not sure. Because I've only seen Frieren so far when it comes to the squirrels. That is very interesting when I was watching this. When Stark, Fern, and Frieren went into that church, Stark immediately knelt down to pray for these people. And it's because he understands Ginu because his hometown was destroyed by demons or creatures. And mostly everyone at this point, which is why I kind of felt sad when Gino said that pretty soon no village will be safe at this point, because there's so many creatures that are like lurking around, and they don't know how many monsters there is. They don't even know how many demons there are that are wandering about. I know one that is very concerning, which would be the one that's very concerning at the moment is one of the seven sages that is alive, because I know that all of them died, because three died from the south of the hero, two died from Himmel and his party, and then one that there was two demons that escaped, but then Aurora died from Frieren, so there's only one more, which I don't even know where he is. And he could possibly be that creature of the four sworded creature, but I don't think so, because even Ginu has mentioned that the demons, because he mentioned that the demons in the village were weaklings, so they would have stood no chance against them. There's no way that one of the seven sage was over there, because I would assume they would have allied that the demons would follow his orders. So obviously this is a monster, but a very high ranking monster, because it's not guaranteed or for sure, but Methode and Stark has come to the conclusion that it's possible that this creature, instead of having one or two swords, he has four swords. But I do remember he did have a shield. So possibly three swords, but then possibly four swords. But who knows? Because I remember the shield at that time. But hopefully they have a strategy that they can come up with to defeat this demon. And it might be a little more difficult, because it did kill one of the soldiers that was far stronger than Stark. And even though there are four mages, I don't really know Gino's ability. I just know he did attack the demon that was like bowing down, wanting mercy. And then you have Methode, who her ability is like killing, and I don't know what her other abilities would be, because her spells are mostly um what do you call it? They're more of like a support magic than attacking magic. So, because Fern and Frieren has that, but theirs have to be more build up. And I noticed Fern does more of a close range, and then Frieren does more of a far range, but it takes a minute for her ability to work, because I think it's like the soul track, where it just takes a minute. But then I don't know what Gino's ability is, so it will be interesting to see how they're gonna pull that off. But then you also have Stark, who I am a little bit worried, but knowing that he does have four mages over there, I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. So I would hope that Rebel and his Kiss crew would be there, but I'm not sure, because he did plan to go on the ship to go to his homeland. Unless it goes to his homeland, because it's not around that area, so they have to go around different areas to defeat other creatures that are lurking around there. And then we also found out that Methode is a student of Siri. She's one of Siri's students, and she will do anything for someone who she finds adorable. While Fern is very proud of herself for turning Siri down, to which Frieren is very proud of her. That was kind of funny. But then it gets serious again, because then we go to Stark giving hard bread. Yes, they still have hard bread, because the Norm Company territory needs to reestablish the situation before they get soft bread. But Stark gives Gino a hard bread, and they were talking, and Stark was willing to make graves for these people instead of putting a stronger barrier and leaving them at the church for the moment. But the reason they can't do that is because monsters lurk around for graveyards, eat bones, and make sure to eat everything where there's no trace of them left behind, which is very sad. And there are some other areas that they could do it, but because of how many people have died, it's more than likely impossible. So they're going to have to cremate, turn their body into ashes. And Keanu agrees with the merchants, but he knows, as well as the merchants, that they don't deserve that part because they've been already killed by the demons or the monster, and they shouldn't have to feel any more pain. The only problem is, what can they do to make their body, make these people that have died feel at peace, because they can't. And that's what's really sad about this situation. Which is why I'll be very happy when they do destroy this demon, because this demon is making me very, very upset. Because his hometown can't be at peace. The people that he couldn't save that were part of him, I feel like Ginu doesn't really care for his hometown, but I do feel like he did care for the people that were in his hometown, and he doesn't like to see the outcome of it being destroyed by the village or the monsters, because these people were good people in his village. And that's probably what I think, honestly. And it's sad that it happened. Like, it's really sad. I felt bad for him. Anyways, I'll see you lovely comrades later. So have a wonderful, beautiful, and an amazing day. Not kidding. Love you, comrades. Bye.